G'day, it's Jasper here from the Heaps Electric blog. Today I'm going to take you through the My Energy Zappi home EV charger, or EVSE. This is what we've got set up here in Adelaide for our Hyundai Ioniq to charge from home. And the special thing about this particular charger, and the reason we bought it, was really about being able to utilize as much of the solar that we produce at home and being able to redirect that directly into our car. So the Zappi, what it has, it's a 7 kilowatt charger with a Type 2 plug that we got installed here in Adelaide through Gelco Services and Evolution. And there's some monitoring clamps that basically attach to the solar export circuit. So it's able to work out exactly how much solar is being exported at any particular point in time. And based on different types of modes that you can attach to it, you can charge your EV at different rates. So just to give you a bit of an overview with the display here, you can see here, sorry for the glare that we've got. So there's a LED display. You can see there's a sun icon on the left hand side showing the direction of the flow of energy, and there we go, we've got some electricity wires on the right hand side indicating at this point in time that we're exporting 2.1 kilowatts into the grid. So obviously today it's a really lovely day here in Adelaide. We've probably had one of the best solar productions just coming out of the tail end of winter. I've got a 4 kilowatt array here at home, so you can see that this is pretty much exporting a pretty large chunk of what we're producing right here at the moment. Down on the bottom here, you can see there's a car icon here that's showing basically when it is connected, there'll be a little arrow showing that it's charging the car, and showing that my charge that I've done all the way today was 98% eco. So basically 98% of the amount of electricity charging the car, which was 6 kilowatts today, was done purely by solar. So we're talking about pretty much 100% renewable driving, which is really the end goal of trying to reduce our carbon footprint around transport and around our own individual vehicles here. So with Zappi, there are 3 different modes. So at the moment it's Eco++. So what happens with this one is that it's pretty much only going to charge with excess solar, and in the settings here in the Zappi, you can actually adjust to show what percentage minimum of renewable energy needs to occur. So there is a bit of a tolerance there that if there is a cloud that kind of passes over, you can still keep the charge going, but once a certain percentage below drops off, it just stops charging the car and just waits until you have surplus again. So default wise here in Adelaide, I kind of put about a 60% default charge for self-charging, and that seems to work reasonably well do the daytime hours. So I find that if I do plug in my car, that I do get it charging sort of consistently at a 1.2 kilowatt rate between about 10 a.m. to about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Obviously in summer, we're going to be able to get faster charge rates than that, but pretty much the amount of surplus that I've got at the moment, when in winter you're kind of using electricity during the daytime to charge the hot water heat pump or to have air conditioning on at home just to keep things warm, means that there really isn't that much excess around at home. So obviously this pure eco charge is going to be more beneficial here during the spring to autumn time frames. So here we can see that if we flip over the modes, so we can press mode here, this goes into a fast charge mode. So this will basically do at a full charge rate of 7 kilowatts, which is a level 2 charge. So for my Ioniq, which has a maximum charge rate of 6.6 kilowatts, you're kind of looking at about 4 hours for a full charge. The next mode that we've got here is Eco, and this one will do just a slow granny charge at about 1.3 kilowatts, which for the Ioniq, if it was completely empty, would be around a 14-hour charge. If you had a partially full thing, it would be pretty much just an overnight charge, which is ample for most circumstances, but having the fast charge capability is kind of nice when you know that you're going to be heading out for a pretty big trip the following day, and that's you really do need a 100% charge going. So I'll just show you how to connect the Zappi. So the nice thing about the design here is that we've got a 5 meter Type 2 cable, which can just spool around the actual wall-mounted EVSE unit itself. So if I kind of take it over here, I'm going to try this one-handed. You can kind of see me walking along here. Here's my Ioniq. So charging bay here, unfortunately for the Ioniq, is all the way on the rear left. So the 5-meter cable is super handy if this is the location of where your charge plug is, which is going to be for the case for Teslas as well. Obviously, cars like the Hyundai Kona are going to have it front mounted, which means that you won't need quite as long a cable run for that. So we can see now the blue light's on. That means that we're charging, and we'll go back and have a look at the display and kind of see what's happening here. So you can see now it's saying that the car's charging. We're producing about 2.1 kilowatts via solar, and of which basically we've got a charge rate of 2 kilowatts going into the car. So this on the bottom right hand side will basically show you a tally of how much is charged over this particular charging session, and then when it's finished it will basically tell you the renewable amount. So this is super handy. And the other thing that we've got here at our place is we've got end-phase microinverters, and the advantage of that is that we can actually have a fairly detailed look in terms of the analytics of what we're producing and consuming here in the household. And this is just to give you a bit of a guide to what we've been doing here at home charging the car today. You can kind of see that I plugged the Ioniq in at around 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. rather. And what Zappi been able to do, it's been able to pretty much intelligently control the amount of charge to basically soak up all that excess solar production. So you can see that orange line there is basically tracking consumption in the house, which would be also everything else that's running in my house, like the hot water heat pump, aircon, and basically pretty much matching to nullify any exports at all. Everything else is being soaked up as a car. So the real advantage of this particular charger is it's basically acting as a conduit for my car being a battery for my excess solar, which pretty much preempts the need for me to be able to go off and actually buy something like a Tesla Powerwall. So obviously there are the kind of wider environmental implications of getting home batteries to charge your EV, but in this circumstance we kind of did the math on the payback for batteries and kind of warranted that it wasn't worth it. But having a level 2 charger here at home was good for the sort of circumstances that we have for this car, and the fact that the Ioniq itself, because it's only got about a 250 kilometer range, you kind of do get a little bit more anxious about range anxiety than you would if you were kind of driving a Kona or a Tesla, where you're kind of looking at the 400 plus range. You've got a bit more of a buffer to play with in terms of longer trips out on the weekend. So there you go. That's a little bit of an overview about the Zappi and a bit about our setup that we've got here in Adelaide. If you like what you've been watching, do subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Heaps Electric on Facebook. We'll catch you later.